Yeah, dude, the flames were probably up this high. Alright, good morning. It is currently Tuesday. Our plan was to try to leave on Monday, but we ran into a little bit of a hiccup. So we went and picked up the RV on Sunday, and we ran into a couple of issues. It does fit in the shop though, with the door closed. Lita's radiator should be here Thursday. Been working on the Fiero as well. Finally got it situated. So we went to go pick up the RV. And I don't know if I talked about this, but on the way to drop the RV off, as I pulled in where we parked it, it wouldn't go into reverse. And when we went to go leave, when we came back, I noticed there was a giant pile of transmission fluid on the ground. I'm like, oh man, I've got a transmission leak. That's why it wouldn't go into reverse. Yada, yada, yada. We bought some transmission fluid when we went to go pick it up. It was a little bit low. We topped it off. I probably overfilled it by a little bit. But again, it wouldn't go into reverse. So I'm like, oh, the brakes are locked up. So we actually hooked the Ford up to it, and I was trying to pull it back out of the spot, and I figured I could just drive home, and then we would worry about backing it in later. And the Ford wouldn't pull it backwards. Couldn't figure out what was going on. Got to look, and my dad said there's some sensors down there, and that I had some extra ones in the box. So I went to go swap out the sensors, and there's a little tank under here that was empty, that's full of transmission fluid. And basically the way this thing works, it works like a semi-truck, but instead of using air, it uses transmission fluid. So there's a pump under there that when you release the parking brake, I don't know if the pump pressurizes the system to release the brake. I'm really not sure. So we replaced the sensors, I put some fluid in it, and it was just pumping it out everywhere. Come to find out, after lots of research, oh yeah, we went, I can't remember if it was, maybe it was yesterday we went and replaced the board on the trailer. Anyway, there's this pump in there, and there's a seal that goes on top of this, and this slides in here like this. And I guess it's kind of a known issue for these things, for the seal to go bad. So I pulled it out, and sure enough, like the seal just completely fell apart. So I've got a new seal ordered for that. The plan is probably just to back this RV in every time we go to leave, just to kind of keep down on rain and everything else getting into it. So we've got the seal ordered for that. It's a $14 fix. Took 5 minutes to take that pump off. It is absolutely disgusting. I think we're going to paint this thing though. I think the plan is to either paint or get it wrapped, because it looks old and out of dated. And if you guys don't know, this was my grandparents' RV. They bought this thing brand new back in '98. Then they sold it to my dad, and then I painted my dad's Mustang, and he gave me this for painting his Mustang. So, and if you're new to the channel, it may look a little rough on the outside, but my dad went through and completely redid this thing on the inside. So it looks like, I don't know if you'll be able to see anything because it's so dark. Maybe I can turn these batteries on and flip some lights on. I guess I could plug this thing in. I guess I didn't go over that either. There's a few things that we did to the shop that I never showed you guys. I installed a 50 amp welding plug here, both for my welder. Like if I'm trying to weld maybe something outside, working on a trailer or something, I installed this plug for the welder, and I also have a plug-in for the RV, so we could plug the RV into this as well. So the batteries in this are going bad, so I'll see if me turning this on will actually do something. And then, yeah, lights are coming on, which means I installed some LEDs in here at one time. I just have to find the remote for it. I don't know what I did for the remote. I don't even know what this is. Oh, damp red. What did I do with the remote? Anyways, Dad's gone through this thing and completely redone this thing. So it's like a brand new RV in here. And it was my grandparents'. So a lot of people are like, oh, you just need to sell that thing. I'll never sell this thing. If anything, I'll just pass it down to my kids. I mean, it's super nice, you know. It's got a bathroom and shower, and I got too much stuff in the way to really open anything up. But that's pretty much the RV. We've owned it now for, I don't know, maybe 4 years. And we've never camped in it. We've only used it for hurricanes. When we lose power in the house during a hurricane, you just can't go camping anymore, man. Like we never know when we're going to be home, and it's hard to find camping spots now. But I need to put some new tires on this thing. I need to check all the brakes. I need to turn the power off on this because the lights are on and they'll kill the batteries. But yeah, that's pretty much the situation right now. So we've got a shop full of stuff right now that I'm working on. I noticed the Mustang when I went to put it on the rollers the other day. We have one tire that's sticking out and the other one's straight. Actually, that one's kind of towed out this way, and this one's really towed out, and it's never been that way. When we went to push this thing out of the old shop, it was super hard to push. So we ended up pulling it back with a Ford, and then we pushed it underneath the carport. But we have definitely have a serious issue going on with that. UPS still hasn't picked up their shelf. Let's see, there was another thing I was going to touch on that somebody suggested. I honestly can't remember. But this is pretty much probably the last time you guys will see me in the shop as we're trying to go out. Trying to find some loads. Thought I had a load. Turns out they only wanted a 53-foot trailer, and we have a 50-foot trailer. I can guarantee you I could have showed up and a 50-foot trailer would have worked. Anyways, yeah, I just want to touch on that. We are currently looking for a load. I don't know how long we're going to stay out. I really wish it was easier to leave out of our area to go back out and try to make money. It's just so difficult that we have to like stay out a month and then come home for a week. Truck's ready. I do have to grease the truck before we leave. So anyways, all right, yeah, I just want to touch base on that because if we find a load, we're gonna have to get going, and we'll see you then. All right, good morning. It's Wednesday now. I think I realized after all my babbling yesterday talking about the RV, I don't know if I told you why I was talking about it. Anyways, it took us a while to get that thing going and get it home. Anyways, we've got a short little run today. We are picking up in Cairo, Georgia, going to Bell, Florida. It's a little 150-mile run for $900. 900 smackaroos. I'm hoping I can keep us busy throughout this week and we can stay here for one more weekend. The way I can get Lita's hearse done. I got that part coming for the RV. What else? I feel like there's something else coming. It's actually chilly out. Huh?
What you looking for?
I don't know. I don't know. Anyways, we're loaded up. We left the doggies at home because it's a short little run. Oh, that's something I can talk about. Nate got a job, and we're not sure what to do with his dog. Did you slide my seat back, or did my leg shrink?
I didn't slide it back.
Yeah, we got to figure out what to do with Boss. And hopefully it doesn't, but it may come down to him coming in this truck for a couple weeks. And I really hope that doesn't happen, because 3 dogs in a truck would be crazy. I mean, I've definitely seen it before, and there's some truck drivers out there that have pet chickens in their truck, goats and pigs. I don't know. I guess we'll have to see. Anyways, we're gonna go grab the trailer, and we're picking up a telehandler, a booming forklift. Looks like we're picking up at a John Deere place.
It says it's an
Ag Pro, yeah, which is John Deere. And then I looked up the delivery address. I didn't see any pictures, but it says it's an 11,000 square foot single family home. I'm like, a single family? 11,000 square feet? What in the world? They didn't say we needed ramps, so I'm hoping we don't need ramps. But I guess we'll see. Alright, let's go grab the trailer.
That thorny crown on my furrowed brow, well, I'd shine in all the tears of joy yelling from the crack. Once brainwashed parents, and I have the world. I'll be in every schoolhouse lecturing little boys and girls. The devil walks among us, friends. I know this is true, and I don't know if it's me, and I don't know if it's you. The one thing that I know, need to take a look around. If I were the devil, this world wouldn't be my playground. For my final act, tell you what it'd be. I have everyone so medicated they could never see. My cloven hooves on horned head would be all disguised, and the best part of it all is they'd comply with their demise. The devil walks among us, friends. I know this is true, and I don't know if it's me, and I don't know if it's you. One thing that I know, need to take a look around. If I were the devil.
Alright, we're going to try to use the speed limit. This is the smaller of the two. They got two different sizes. I brought my drill this time. Thankfully, I didn't lose that. Because it says on their website not to use an impact. So I think it takes a 9/16 socket. Let's see. 9/16. I don't know the rating on this or anything. I'll have to include that in the picture. The thing I would worry about having a bunch of these is we would have to put them on our headache rack.
They heavy.
Well, not that they're heavy, it's just that I feel like these would probably get stolen. We would have to lock the, we've got panels that we can lock our chains and stuff on with. But, all right, so I'm gonna use speed 1 in drill mode, I think. I'm gonna let it come all the way this way too, so I can try to hand tighten it. They suggest some type of DeWalt model for the drill. You see how tight I can get it with my hand. Oh, gets it pretty tight, man. I think it's $150. Mighty sent it to us. If you order anything from Mighty, use the link down in the description. I think you get 15% off your order. I mean, I think that's tight enough. Oh. I mean, it's super nice. $150, is it worth it? Maybe if you did chain loads every day, huh? If we did nothing but chain loads and we didn't do strap loads too, it might be worth it. I don't know, we'll have to use it a couple more times. What do you feel about it?
Sunbelt Rental uses those.
Do they?
Yeah.
I mean, it's nice, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
If I did chain loads all the time, it would probably be worth it. Like I said, you want to make sure it's locked up because thieves will try to steal that thing.
Expensive.
Yeah, I don't know what one of those other ones cost. I like it, don't get me wrong. Is it worth $160? I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, if we did chain loads all the time, probably be worth checking out. I've always wanted to try them. It's definitely faster, obviously. Let's see how long it takes us to do one of these. These are rusty. Those other ones have a nice grease fitting on them too. I don't know if it greases this shaft or if it greases the gear. But like this, after a while, this flipper, if you don't keep up with greasing these things, this flipper is like impossible to flip. I could probably do this just as fast. I do have shoulder issues, and that could be from doing this.
Yeah.
I don't know. If you guys want to order one, use the link in the description. I don't think you can beat Mighty's prices, man. I've tried to beat them before. We've gone to those tart places. You just can't beat Mighty's prices, man. Yeah, let's get this thing chained down.
Yes. That's why I was like, I don't know where we go here.
I'll pull up. I can drop you off here and I'll pull off up to the side here. All right, we made it to Bell, Florida. Looks like they don't have a dock here, so we will have to use the ramps. Grab my keys. Looks like just a big cow farm. Big old cow farm. All right, well, I guess we'll set the camera up. Get these ramps out, get this thing off. All right, so we made it back home, and on the way home, I look in the mirror, and there's a bunch of smoke, and I thought it was coming from the exhaust, because every time I would like give it more fuel, I would see more smoke. Come to find out, this brake chamber locked up these brakes and caught this on fire. So I've got the brake chamber caged. I don't know how bad the fire is. I actually had to use the fire extinguisher to put it out. Is that what all this is? No, this is just dust. So what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to fix the RV. The part for the RV will be in today. Then I'm gonna have to pull this thing in the shop. Go find a brake chamber. I'll probably take these duals off. I mean, the brake caliper was glowing red. Is it still blue? When it cooled off, it turned blue. See it from here? Everything else does look a little charred though. So we're gonna have to pull that thing off. See if I fried those brakes and that rotor. Change that brake chamber.
Crazy, it just caught on fire though.
Yeah, dude, the flames were probably up this high. I thought it was a tire fire at first. And then I peeked my head around and I could see that rotor glowing. Oh, so that's what I'll be doing the next day or two. Should be able to fix the RV pretty easily. It's just a seal. Waiting on the mailman now. Alright, I got finished up with the RV last night. We got it pulled out. And we just got the truck pulled in. I pulled it in this time because it's this set that's locking up. So I'm hoping my impact can break this thing loose. If not, I might have to go get one. I don't know what to do about jacking this thing up. I've got that 20-ton bottle jack on the press. I don't know. Lita's going to have to figure something out.
Yeah.
Figure it out, woman. All right, before we get started on the truck, I wanted to change the oil in the air compressor. And I don't know if that's going to show up on camera, but it's like mud. I've never changed the oil in this. Granted, I hardly ever use this thing in the other shop too. So we're draining that out. Lita went to go get us some more oil. I'm going to change it. I'm going to run it for a day, and then I'm going to change it again to get all that crud out of there. I've got this thing jacked up just barely off the concrete. I mean, I just got it just enough to maybe a half inch under the tires right now. I don't know if I told you guys this or not. When I seen the smoke coming from the back of the truck, and then we got pulled over and I got to looking, it was after that. So what I did was I caged the brakes, and then we drove down the road a couple of miles, and I got out to look to see if that was still glowing hot, to make sure it wasn't still dragging. And as I'm walking back to the truck, I look over, I see my Cobalt battery sitting there. So what I had done is I took all my tools out of the side box here, and I set it on top of the APU, and I was looking for the wrench to cage the bolt. Well, evidently, I forgot to put back my drill battery and our B winder, that strap winder that we use. Luckily, the battery was still there. Somewhere. But we lost our strap winder. So, if Bumblebee strap winder's watching this, hook a brother up. We ended up backtracking. And we couldn't find it. After we had dropped the load. So, I don't know when it fell off. I don't know if somebody picked it up. I don't know. Anyways, waiting on Lita to get back with some compressor oil so we can get the oil change in the compressor. And then I want to slowly go through my impacts and see which ones will bust the lug nuts off this thing. I'm pretty sure that's not going to do it. So I have a bunch of different impacts. I have this, obviously this battery powered one. Lita's radiator should be in today. And then I've got an assortment of, this one obviously wouldn't. This one, I feel like I've tried to use these to break lug nuts loose, but that was before we had the big air compressor and the thicker hose and the high flow fittings. I don't know if I showed that in the video or not. I don't think I put that in the video, but I bought high flow fittings for the shop. So this is the normal fitting that we were running, and this is the high flow that I'm now running. So you can see it's a good bit bigger, but I want to say this green one that I've bought recently is my strongest one. You would think that it would say the foot-pounds on it. I think if the battery powered one won't break it loose, I only want to see just because I want to see if it's worth taking that thing on the road. Then we're going to try this one, and we'll have to see what happens. I left our camera up on the back of the truck as we were driving home, so it is currently dead. That camera looks funny in here anyways with the LED lights. So I may not use that camera. I don't know. I thought I had it figured out when I was editing, and then I uploaded the video. I didn't watch the whole thing when I was editing after I went through and changed some frame rates. And then after I posted it, there was still some sketchy spots. So anyways, wait on Lita to get this oil and we'll get this thing off. All right, hopefully you guys can hear me over the fan, because it's super freaking hot in here. Lita came back, we put some new oil in the compressor. Like I said, I'm probably gonna run that for a day and then drain it out again. So we've got our Cobalt 24 volt with a 33 socket. Everybody's gonna be like, my Makita or my Milwaukee could break it loose. All right, so I've already pre-soaked these two with PB Blaster. Man, I'll be honest, it almost acts like it wants to do it. I know I could throw some heat to this, but I want to see if this thing will break this thing loose as if we're on the side of the road. I know a lot of guys, they'll run a air hose from their tanks and use an impact. Oh my God, it broke it loose. Yo, that actually worked. It's slowly moving. Oh my goodness. I can't freaking believe that. I swear, I tried this thing on the Mac and I couldn't. So I ended up going and getting a torque multiplier. Let me go grab that real fast. All right, yeah, so I bought a torque multiplier, and if you've never seen one of these things, it's got a 1-inch shank, and you choose whatever socket you need, and then you can actually hand crank this thing, and it will, this thing is so incredible, it will completely pretzel a bolt. You could completely destroy a bolt with this thing. There probably isn't anything that thing wouldn't loosen. All right, so I've got the cobalt broke that thing loose pretty good. Realistically, one thing I would be nervous about using it, and I guess you could stop by a shop after you change a tire or whatever you need to do, but I would be afraid that it wouldn't be able to tighten it enough to be safe. All right, so this is an earthquake. I bought this thing a long time ago when I was trying to change the shocks, I think, on the Mac. And everything I had would not break one of these bolts loose. Was it the shocks? Maybe it was the shocks. I think that was with my smaller compressor, that was with a smaller air hose, and that was with those regular air fittings that I had. So this wouldn't break it loose. That's why I ended up buying that torque multiplier. So I'm curious to see if, because I almost went and bought one of those big heavy duty 1-inch you see in the big shops, and I might end up still having to go get one, just depending on how much work we end up doing in here. All right, so it's turned all the way up to 3. It's on loosen. I don't think I have the air on for this thing. Something's not right. Is it straight up and down, or is it like that? I have it set to 100 PSI because that's what the gun says is its max, but that doesn't seem right. Bro, that would be crazy if this thing wouldn't break loose in that cobalt will. Why does it seem like we're not getting enough air? I mean, so it says 90 PSI max air pressure. That can't be right. I've got it up to 130 right now. Let's bump this thing up to 140. That can't be right. You can't tell me shops are only using 90 PSI on their guns. That doesn't seem right to me. Yeah, that's more like it. 90 PSI, that's gotta be a joke, man. That's gotta be some like some safety stuff that they put on there so that you don't murder yourself or something. Or they're trying to sell it to like homeowners and be like, look, you can run this off your little air compressor. I think it's definitely helped soaking these things in PB Blaster. That one's on there pretty good. I don't know, man. I'm not impressed by this earthquake. I want to say that thing is supposed to be like 1,100 foot-pounds of torque. Let me see. I don't know what this does. I've had this thing for a while. Of course, you know they always lie about what they can do. Let me see, XT. So this thing is claiming, well, I don't know, they have two different XTs. Twin hammer. Okay, that one's saying it's new, but it only does 1200, and I guess the old one does 1500 foot-pounds of torque. Actually, is that the one I have? Man, why do they have so many different ones? I'm gonna guess 1200. I don't know. I'm not impressed with it. This is kind of my first time using it. I bought it a couple years ago. Man, that's the problem with using PB Blaster, is it just completely smokes your rim. Not that I keep these things polished, but holy smokes does it make a mess. Yeah. That PB Blaster just smokes the rims, man. It just throws so much of that rusty crap everywhere. I'm wondering if I should take this off. I should probably go ahead and take this off so I don't have to pull the wheels out so far. In case I never mentioned it, this will be the first time I've ever taken off semi-truck tires. Yeah, I think that was the right call. Getting that off and out of the way. Alright, so I have seen this before on videos. Let me grab my pry bar. Where you want to slide a pry bar under here like this. Did I forget a nut? No? Yeah, like that. And you can just work it out. It would probably be better if I had this thing jacked off the ground a little more. Now my pry bar's stuck under there and I can't get the tire off. Let me jack this thing up just a little bit more. Trying not to hurt my back here. What?
You could take it off.
What do you mean I can take it off?
You worried your impact was
Oh yeah, that Cobalt one actually broke them loose too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Impressive, right? All right, let's have a looky here. Look, you can see where I sprayed it with the hydrant. I mean, the rotor is as smooth as butter, man. I hate that you can't really see the brake pads on these things very well. Like, how are you supposed to check to see? Oh, I guess from this side. Is that how much pad we have? It was this axle, right? Yeah, it was this axle. I mean, maybe we caught it in time. We don't have to do the brake pads in the rotor. Man, I was expecting to see a lot of melted stuff, but it doesn't seem too bad. Like, I expected this rotor was gonna be jacked. I don't know, maybe I take some sandpaper to that thing because it looks glazed. Well, we know we definitely should probably do the but yeah, this is the brake chamber because it's the one that's caged. So I'm gonna go ahead and drain my air tanks all the way down. Take this brake chamber off. I don't think it's any different than a normal brake chamber. All right, Lita got the brake chamber off here.
Yeah, great.
All by herself. We're looking for a part number. We tried to call up to, where'd we call?
Club, Fleet Pride.
Fleet Pride. And they said they can't help us unless we have a part number.
Because they're not a Kenworth dealer.
And I don't see a part number anywhere on there.
There's nothing on there.
Yeah, you can faintly see some numbers stamped into
shit.
it. All right, well, we're going to, I don't know if I'm going to do, I mean, the brake pads, there's a bunch of, I mean, people smoke their brakes going down mountains all the time and they don't run out and replace their brake pads. So, I think we're going to run it with this. Just replace this brake chamber. All right, well, let me run uptown, see what I can find for a brake chamber. Hopefully we got one in stock. All right, we are back. What did I do with the receipt? Shit. Maybe it's still in the Ford. All right, so we ran down to Fleet Pride. This was $132 out the door. $122 with $9.84 tax. So, and we got us a Made in America one. because fuck China. So I gotta cage this thing. We'll get her caged up and installed. So there's a rod here and there's a big spring in here, and this rod right now is pulling this big spring back so that this rod will retract so that I can push this in all the way. Normally the air is what pushes the spring back, and then when you apply the brake it releases some of that air, and then the spring pushes on that rod, which squeezes those brakes together. Alright. So what I want to do now is rebuild the air back up in the truck, work the brakes a couple of times, and then make sure that this is still going to spin. By hand.
Spin that by hand?
Yeah, with the brakes released. What?
There's the whole thing moves down that.
Yeah, because it's pushing on these. What?
Rust is pouring out.
Yeah, it's just metal flakes. Yeah, man. Sweet. All right. I think this one goes on first. Oh, it's gonna take me a minute to get this on, so I wouldn't get in too big of a hurry.
You can grab the other side.
Well, so there's a trick. There's a trick. You can use this lift bar and you can get it underneath this tire. And because that thing has a bend in it, it's not going to let me go all the way down. Let me go grab a different one. Hold that for a second. Did you say just lift it up?
Yeah, you don't think you're good?
I want to see if I can do it on my own.
Ever blew a tire on the side of the road?
Yes.
Like that.
Alright, so I can drop this bottle jack down a little bit. You call a service truck to come out.
Oh, so you don't like put a new tire on your rim?
No.
I'll see people doing that before.
Yeah, they're hardcore, man. see if I can drop this down a little bit more. I'll probably have to lift it back up again, but in order to get this over this hub, look at that.
Pretty simple.
Huh? Who's your daddy?
Yeah, pick it back up.
Booyah! Uno mas. I wonder what a shop would have charged me to do this. I deserve a lobster dinner. All right, so when you put this one on, you want it 100, it goes like this. You want this valve stem to be 180 degrees away from that valve stem. So that one's down at the bottom left, so we want this one up at the top right. So what I'll do is I'll hit that and screw everything up. No, let me try. What'd I do with my bar? It's right here. I think I can just pop this thing up over this now. Yeah, like that. All right, and then our valve stem is right here. So we want to spin this some and put it like right there. The top's on.
The bottom of this other tire was pushed all the way.
Yeah, I bumped it off when I was trying to get this on. Boom! Shakalaka. All right, you want to give that jack a couple pumps? Just to get these tires off the ground so when I tighten these, it doesn't try to bind, dragging across the ground. Then you don't want to just tighten one around in a circle. You want to go in a cross pattern or a star pattern.
I do need to get a tool for my car for the lugs on my tires for my spare, because I don't have like that tool.
What do you mean?
Like for your spare, that you would like put your spare on with. I don't have a tool. I just have a spare with no tool.
You don't have the bent. Huh?
Pavement bring stuff.
I mean, I don't like going off road.
there's like people keep their stuff extremely nice.
I mean, I don't blame them for keeping it nice, but I just don't have time to be one of those guys that can polish on my wheels and shit all the time. Yeah, polishing it at truck stops, and they'll be polishing it like if there's a line to get loaded, they'll get out and start polishing their trucks. Bro, there's no way. I'm not doing it. All right, we got her swapped. Everything seems to be working. Brand new, made in America air chamber, baby. Well, that's it. That's all I can think to do for now. I might try to research some of the adaptive cruise stuff. Unplug some of those plugs and then see if the connections are corroded. But besides that, that's it. Well, thanks for watching. See you in the next one. All right, so I'm in there editing the video that we did today of the brakes. I was talking to Roberto, guy that gave us the APU for the Mac. He thinks that maybe I should replace that, the rotor. Anyways, I'm in there editing, and I see this giant rust stain in the video, and I didn't realize how bad it's getting. So basically what's happening is our chains are draining out of this little hole in this box, and it's dripping down onto here. I thought I had some CLR, some calcium lime rust stuff, but I ended up finding some of this Rust-Oleum stuff, and I started working it a little bit, and it seems to be taking this. Oh, it's definitely taking the rust off. Look at that. I don't know what it's doing to the clear. I mean, it's in a plastic bottle, so I hope it's not damaging anything. But it's definitely taking that rust off. Look at that. A little bit of rust over here. We'll just wipe this whole thing down. So that's a nice little hack, huh? If your chain box is dripping on your truck and leaving a rusty trail, that's that Rust-Oleum. I don't even know if you can get this stuff anymore. This is some stuff I'm sure my dad gave me in all of his stuff he gave us. Nice, I'll get that thing cleaned up. It's definitely an eyesore, man. I didn't realize how bad it really got until I seen it on the video. Holy smokes, it's bad. I don't need to keep a perfect truck, but that thing was getting out of hand. Look at that, it's all gone now. First, we thought it was this tray. Then I got to looking, and it just kept getting worse in this area. That's definitely our chain box. All right, how's that? Man, that turned out great. I was thinking, oh man, I need to weld a bung on here and run a hose over somehow. I'd spend more time welding that bung than I would just to clean this thing up. Robert, why don't you spend more time? Take some pride in your truck. Because I'm too busy, man. I get more done before you've gotten out of bed than you do all day long. Plus, too busy taking your mom out. Hey, Peppers. What are you doing, babies? What's going on?